Hi students, welcome to another session. In this session, we'll try to understand steps in conducting scientific research. In the last session, we discussed goals of psychological inquiry and particularly description and the steps explanation. Uh, the other points like description, prediction, explanation, control of behavior, and application of knowledge. With all these goals, we will try to deal with steps. Those are the goals, the steps involved in goals, particularly, or what are all the outcomes we can expect in psychological inquiry. And now, as I said, who inquires is a researcher. Now, here it is about conducting research. What are the outcomes there? And now we have to conduct a scientific research. Now coming to let's see what the textbook is discussing. Science is not so defined by what it investigates as by how it investigates. It is what the author tells us that science is not so defined by what is it investigates. Means what are you doing is not a consideration, but how you are doing is a consideration. Like finding a solution is, it may involve different types of steps or different types of methods, but is it scientific? How it is investigated, how the method is carried out in a scientific manner is the scientific research. So that's how the definition, it is not is what, it is how. Okay, then the scientific method attempts to study a particular event or phenomena in an objective, systematic, and testable manner. Even in Unit 1, we discussed the psychology study should be objective and replicable. Here it says that the scientific method should be objective, systematic, and testable manner. The objectivity refers to the fact that if two or more persons independently study a particular event, both of them to a great extent should arrive at the same conclusion. What is objectivity? As we said, it should be replicable. Means if I carry out something what has proposed, like if we can take the examples of Pythagoras theorem or some formulas in mathematics, whenever you apply the formula, the result will be the same, right? Like the result will be same for every person. In such a way, when you apply a method in psychology, particularly if it is a scientific method, that when you apply more or less, it should be equal. The behavior should be equal. When you apply some therapy, that behavior outcome, the change in the person should be same. That's how the objectivity is. For instance, if you and your friend measure the length of the table using the same measuring device, it is likely that both of you would arrive at the same conclusion about its length. Yeah, as I said in the mathematical example, he also, the other also uses some scale, a physical scale, like a measuring device. If you calculate with it or a measure with it, the other person who uses the same device also get the same result. That's what he's saying. Okay, the second characteristic of the scientific research is that it follows systematic procedure or steps of investigation. as we have some goals that has to be reached, and as we are seeing the steps in research, the steps must be in a procedural way. The steps must be in a procedural way, and it should be like ascendant or a descendant, and it can be a constructive way, so that every person can understand it and then follow them in a simple manner and achieve the results. If we can see, there is a systematic desensitization in anxiety, and even the CBT therapy, cognitive behavior therapy, also follows some rules. So by applying those rules by step, you can achieve a behavior. You can achieve the change in behavior. That's how scientific method in psychology works. Okay, it includes following steps: conceptualization of the problem, collection of the data, drawing conclusions, and revising research conclusions and theory. Let us discuss these steps in some details. Here, let me, so the first is objectivity. Next is systematic. What's next? The systematic ones will include, again, this will include conceptualization. This is 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is one conceptualization of problem, like hypothesis. Next, collection of data, drawing conclusion, like what you analyze from data, and then testing with the hypothesis, whether the hypothesis is true or false. Anything, what is the result? These are the steps involved, like conceptualization, problem. All these things has to be followed is in a systematic procedural way. Like only after creating the problem only, like even if you understand the problem, you can collect the data. If you can collect the data, you can analyze the data and draw conclusions. After these conclusions only, you can check whether your hypothesis or the problem is true or false, and then you can theorize it. Okay, these are the very important things in this one. And so, particularly as it is objectifiable, after objectifying it is systematic, after systematic it should be testable. These are the three ones. In the first, the steps in conducting research is the goals or the study, how it studies, it should be objective, it should be systematic, and it should be testable manner. After that, objectivity, whether it is same for you and your friend or the other person who studies your uh, research or your theory. After that, there is systematic one. After that objectivity, there is systematic one. Systematic has, what are the systematic steps? Conceptualization of the problem, collection of data, drawing conclusions, revising research, and theory. These are all the things involved in systematic one. After that, you'll see conceptualizing a problem. Conceptualizing a problem. These are the 4 steps given in the theory. Steps in conducting a scientific inquiry. How should be the scientific inquiry? That is how. How should be the scientific inquiry? It is objectifiable, systematic, and testifiable. How should be the scientific study? It should be objectifiable, systematic, and testable manner. And what are the steps involved in systematic? How you systematically do it? It is conceptualizing the problem, collecting data, revising drawing conclusions, and revising This is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, these are all the things. This is the cycle in the systematic one. When it is objectified, the result should be same for both. Okay, the subject 1 and subject 2. When it is systematic, it should follow a cycle, that is 4-step cycle. You should follow the cycle. Then that is testable. Okay, so you understand the steps in this systematic procedure. Steps in systematic scientific inquiry. So conceptualization the problem. First one, you should understand the problem. You should take a problem. The process of scientific research begins when a researcher select a theme or topic of study. What he is saying is, like, when the researcher starts taking a scientific method, the systematic study must be selecting a problem. Then she or he narrows down the focus and develop a specific research questions or problems for the study. You know the problem, like you have to deal with a good behavior, like the student has to behave in a good manner in the class. That is, like you can say the problem is some inattentive child. The child is not able to sit properly. What is the problem now? The child is not able to sit properly and missing concentration. Now you should address the problem. So after knowing the problem, you will try to narrow down the focus. So how much time he should sit, where he should sit, what he should sit after learning, all these questions. You have to research on the questions part, and then you will try to have a hypothesis or research questions for the problems of the study. After doing all these things, you will be concentrating on focus, and then this is done on the basis of review of past research, observations, and personal experiences. So it is like introduction. When you got a problem and you will try to understand what is the problem is, you try to explain what is the problem. And then, for example, earlier you read that a researcher was interested in observing the study habits of the students. Even though yesterday we discussed the point, so in the explanation of this problem, it is again the study habits of the student. For this purpose, she or he may identify different facets of study habits first, and then decide whether she is interested in study habits shown in the class or at home. See what he is doing now. There is a lot of possibilities in a research, whether the study habits at home are increasing the core scores or the study habits at school increasing the scores. How he study improves the score in particular subject. There are a lot of possibility solutions, and that's how you decide a problem, and then uh, collecting, creating a problem. It's creating a problem, conceptualizing the problem. Okay, then in psychology, we study a diverse range of problems related to behavior and experiences. As I said, so after in psychology, we study diverse range. There may be lot of conditions, factors involved in a problem. We have to address. We cannot address everything, but we can address a few and change the behavior. These problems may be related to an understanding of our own behavior. For example, how do I feel and behave when I am in a state of joy and grief? See, understanding your own behavior, like how I feel when I am laughing, how I feel when I am dull or mood off. Okay, how do we reflect on our experiences and behavior? Why do we forget? So even after studying for a lot of time, we may forget things. That is lack of attention or lack of concentration, which does not give you the good results at the end of the day. The next to it is understanding other individuals' behavior. One is how we behave, our own behavior, and other one is others' behavior. For example, is Abhinav more intelligent than Ankur? Why is someone always not able to complete her or his work on time? Can habit of smoking be controlled? So first one is trying to understand ourselves. Second one is understanding others or relating a factor between two. Like intelligence is a factor, but who is an intelligent fellow? Who is intelligent than who? Okay. So there is another thing. Can a habit of smoking can be controlled? Can alcohol abuse can be controlled? All these things will be like a systematic and creating a problem, conceptualizing the problem. Why do some people suffering from chronic illness not take medicines? So first one is understanding our own behavior, second thing understanding others individual behavior, third one is dealing with other problems. Group influences on individual behavior. What is like how a social factors influence the individual? For example, why does Rahim spend more time meeting with people than doing his work? He's very socializing. Why does a cyclist perform better when cycling before a group of persons than when cycling alone? So the other type of thing is group behavior, influence of group on individual. There is also another one, like it is like something, some for someone it is encouraging, for someone it is risk taking. There is another one, it is risk taking. The other one is organizational level. For example, why are some organizations more successful than others? How can an employer increase the motivation of employees? These are some factors to conceptualize a problem. It is like understanding our own behavior, others' behavior, like group behavior, group influence on individual, group behavior, risk-taking behavior, and organization level, like why people perform better. How can an employer increase motivation into the others? All these things can be dealt in the conceptualization of problem. The list is long and you will learn about these various facets in subsequent chapters. If you are inquisitive, you can write down a number of problems which you may like to probe. This is how you can conceptualize a problem. After identification of the problem, the researcher proceeds by developing a tentative answer to the problem, which is called hypothesis. As I spoke many times about hypothesis can be true or false, but the behavior or the result which has come that decides the hypothesis and the research. Okay, so after conceptualizing the problem, a tentative solution to the problem has also to be readied. For example, based on the earlier evidence on your observation, you might develop a hypothesis. Greater is the amount of time spent by children in viewing the violence on television, higher is the degrees of aggression displayed by them. Even you can take another example. This is little harsh, like if you see more problems, like more content, the aggressive contents on television or any like social media, you will be also be, there will be definitely an influence on you, on the child particularly who is involved in it. Okay, and next to it is, there is another one. What you can do is that after conducting the research, you will draw some conclusions, right? So those conclusions can be those conclusions can be decide, like if you can say, if you study more you will get more marks. In the last example we have discussed that studying in a natural environment can increase marks, studying in closed environment can increase marks, studying early morning can increase marks or decrease marks. If you take hypothesis as one side, the results and analyzing the data can give you the result. There is nothing wrong or thing. It is like getting some conclusive information. In your research, you should now try to prove whether the statement is true or false. Like after conceptualizing the problem, you will then try to get some idea about whether it is true or false. Like there is a vaccine trial. When you create something, you will test on the subjects. After that, you will decide, after examining and administrating that vaccine on several subjects, you will come to a conclusive data that this is working. So all this is happens in the systematic and scientific manner. This is the method of procedure. Next to it is, after conceptualizing the problem, you have to collect data. In the conceptualizing the problem, there is like you can draw different conclusions, like group behavior, own behavior, others behavior, motivation. There are many factors which involved in understanding the behavior, conceptualizing the problem, and then there should be a hypothesis and you will try to prove whether it is true or false. The second step in scientific research is to collect data. Data collection requires developing a research design or a blueprint of the entire study. In the previous one, you decided to study some behavior and then you framed a hypothesis and then you tried to prove true or false. In the second step, first one is conceptualizing the problem and next one is collecting data. The second step in scientific research is to collect data. Data collection requires developing a research design or a blueprint of entire study. If you have to collect data, you have to know what information to be collected. So that's how you have to decide what to be collected, like creating form, creating questionnaire, like interview. It is whether it is structured or unstructured. All these things has to be decided earlier and then you can go to the collection of data. It requires taking decisions about the following four aspects: participants of the study, whom you have to conduct the research on, methods of data collection, tools used in the research, procedure of data collection. All these things has to be considered before collecting data. On which group of people you are conducting the research, what is the method you are using, which tools you are using. The method is different and tool is different. Okay, procedure of data collection, how you want to collect data. Depending upon the nature of the study, the researcher has to define who would be the participants or informants in the study. As a researcher, you will know what you want to study and how it can be studied. After that, you have to select and decide the nature of study and how the research can go on. The the participants could be children, adolescents, college, or whoever. It should be a set of group. Clinical patients, industrial workers, or any group of individuals whom where the phenomenon under investigation is prevalent, like he or she is eligible for the problem or the hypothesis. The second decision, the first decision is this, and the second decision is related to use of methods of data collection, such as observation method, experimental method, correlation method, case study, etc. There are methods. These are the methods: observation, experimental, correlational, and case study. These are the things to collection of data through methods. The researcher needs to decide about appropriate tools. For example, interview schedule, observation schedule, questionnaire, etc. for data collection. After the deciding the set of group, you have to select the method. The participants are decided, method is decided, and the tool, like whether it's a questionnaire, it's an interview, or anything that has to be decided here. And the researcher also decides about how the tools need to be administered to collect data. Even scheduling an interview, like interview, there are two types of interview, that structured and unstructured. It is the environmental changes, like you will be as peaceful as possible, and there is some aggressive persons. All these things comes into picture during the steps of data collection, steps of conducting systematic research. Okay, this is followed by actual collection of data. All these steps will be involved in collection of data. So as we, I think, so let's recall these things and conclude this session. As this is a longest topic, we'll try to cover these third and fourth steps in the next one. I think this is very simple only. We will try to complete. Okay. Then drawing conclusions. After this one, drawing conclusions. Drawing conclusions. The next step is analyzing the data. Right? You have collected the data, like methods. There are tests involved. The next step is analyzing the data. The analyzing the data will have a software or the pie charts. There can be how you can like statistics, the statistical procedures. There is SPSS, statistical for procedure for social sciences. There is a tool. This tool, with using this tool, like there will be these pie charts, bar diagrams, cumulative frequencies, like at which intervals of time the behavior is happening, and the use of different statistical methods. The purpose of analysis is to verify a hypothesis and draw conclusions accordingly. The first one is conceptualizing a problem and a hypothesis. Then steps to involve in what you can say, collecting the data, analyzing the data, and revisiting the research problem. Drawing the conclusions involve to analyze data that is with statistical and procedures. All these procedures, such as examples of pie chart, you can represent a pie chart, you can represent a bar diagram, you can represent the frequency. All these things can be done in drawing conclusions. Next to it is revising research conclusions. You have the problem now, you have how to collect the data now, you have analyzing the data now, and then whether it is true or false, what are all can be, the conclusions can be drawn. All the after drawing the conclusions, you will try to revisit the research conclusions, like revisit the hypothesis. Study habits. Good study habits improve the marks. Studying in the natural conditions improve the mark. Studying in noisy environment could decrease the marks. So if it is not done, you have to revisit the hypothesis and then it is false. The researcher may have begun the study with hypothesis that there exists a relationship between viewing violence on television and aggression among the children. As we said in the example, the more content which you are seeing around you, it leads to the aggression. If you see aggressive programs on television, you will behave aggressively. If you see peaceful programs, you will be peaceful. She or he has to see whether the conclusions support this hypothesis. If they do, the existing hypothesis or theory is confirmed. If not, he will revise or restate the alternative hypothesis or theory and again test it based on the new data and draw the conclusions which may be verified by future researchers. Thus, the research is a continuous process. Yes, science has also another quality. It should be changed with the facts of the time to time. The theories are not conclusive. They should be changed according to the times and how it can be applied to the recent times. If not, that has to be changed. That is what alternative hypothesis. When you draw the alternative hypothesis or the hypothesis which you took is a true, is a false, again there will be analyzing of data and then it is said that the research can be taken in another way. So that's how we come to conclusion. We will see alternative paradigms of research in the next session and let's see. Nice. Okay, yes, alternative paradigms we will see in the next session. We have seen steps in conducting scientific research and now we will try to revise what we have learned so far. So yesterday we have seen the goals of psychological inquiry. Now today we studied the steps and then how it is not what you conduct, it is how you conduct. How it should be? It should be objective, systematic and testable manner. Okay, objectified means there will be two friends. If the two friends uses the same formula, they should get same results. That is a scientific method. Next to it is systematic one. The systematic procedure is the steps of investigation. That is, you have conceptualizing the problem, that is selecting a topic for study, collecting data, participants, methods and tools and procedures, drawing conclusion. Drawing conclusions will have use of statistical methods and then restating existing hypothesis or formulating a new hypothesis, that is alternative hypothesis. That is the hypothesis you took is not giving the expected results what you have conceptualized. So this is the cycle of steps in conducting scientific inquiry. So that's how we end the session and please write to us if you have any queries. This is really important. After goals, steps of scientific inquiry, how the scientific study should be objectified, systematic and testable, how it can be achieved, the object examples of objectifiable is discussed and then we discussed about systematic procedure and then we will see the next coming up things. Hope you understand the session. Thank you so much. Have a great day.